So I have literally been awake for about 10 minutes now, and we have a new ban list. I thought, you know what, let's just react to it, you know, look like shit, sound like shit properly, and let's see what Konami have in store for us, because you don't drop a ban list the night before a brand new world if it's not going to change things considerably. So let's okay, so this is going to be coming out on the 14th. So 2 weeks of ZEXAL until we get this. I would have preferred they did this in advance and did, you know, we had a brand new kind of meta reset on the new world. That would have been way better in my opinion. I do apologize again for the voice, I can hear it going. And being in that, not, you know, you've woken up, you know, like 10 minutes ago, you sound like dog shit, but you need to talk. Yeah, this is going to be a fun one. So let's go to the skills, because this is usually where we see, oh boy. Okay. Shadow Game, Access, Nightmares, all three of them are getting hit. Okay, let's just see what happens. So, first of all, restart. Can be used only once after your starting hands are dealt. Yep, redraw your starting hand. Your first draw will be skipped. This skill will not activate if your deck does not contain 7 or more copies of each of spell trap cards. That's dead. Like, you now have to run 6 monsters in your deck. You know, at minimum. Wow. Okay, just butchering that, you know, like, sure. Switcheroo can be used when your life is decreased by 1500. Return one card in your hand to your deck and draw another. Once per duel. What is the change on that one? Like, I don't use that skill enough for that to be fine. I assume it's the 1500. Which, okay, sure, it might be 1000 already. So 15 is fine. Okay, Bandit can be used when your life is 1500 or below. Thank you to Grammy's World for subscribing. You're making it into a video, but I don't know enough about Bandit. I assume again that's another one that is getting hit by Shadow Game. Got to see this one. At the end of the turn, both players lose life equal to the number of cards in the graveyard times 100, maximum 400. Whoa. Okay. So you can't do big 700, 800 point damages. That's really big. And this skill will not activate with a player with 1000 less life points. Oh boy, there we go. The big one. You can no longer game your opponent with Shadow Game. Which doesn't make much sense given the name of the skill, but is really good for the, you know, overall toxicity of the meta. Nice. That so far is restart's a very big hit. This one is a very big hit that you're going to feel on the ladder. And again, it kind of ties in with the whole nerfing burn cards. Nerfing burn skills? Sure. Then we have Access Denied. Can be used from your 5th turn and onward. I think that there is literally the important part, like reading it quickly. Your 5th turn means turn 9 or turn 10 of the duel. That's crazy, having to wait that long until then. So you can't now play Star Blast and just, you know, go down real low. You can't do that. And I assume again, Ajama Overflow is again going to be, yep, turn 5 onwards. Those are practically dead in that conventional sense, because no one's going to play that as a stall deck, really. You played it to just blow out your opponent and shut them down very early on, giving you kind of this free term navigations and whatnot. So, oh boy. Show of Nightmares can be used. You have 3 or more spells in your graveyard. Add 1 random spell card from your go to your hand. Then return 1 card from your hand to your deck. Nice. It's giving something to balance out that whole +1 you were getting. Cool. Really genuinely good change for a health and balance of the game wise. Really nice. Then we have Moth to a Flame, which I don't really care about. It's just, yeah, it's Weevil stuff. Like, no. And then I got my Cubic stuff and Red Eyes Fusion stuff. Okay. And Yeah, okay, like, I don't really know what the difference is with those ones. It doesn't strengthen them. I don't immediately see how the Red Ice one is strengthened, but okay. So far, so good. Very impressed with the skill nerfs. Very, very good stuff, Konami. Let's see if your Forbidden Limited list holds up, because oh, Forbidden. Our first ever 2 Forbidden cards of the game are Cyberstein, and that grass looks greener. What is this card doing in 2020? It's already at 1, which of course does mean that, you know, you can draw it off the top of your deck like most people do. It does seem to stick to people's hands. Why does this need to be banned? Now, could they be giving us Paleo Frogs? You know, at some point down the line. Maybe. Maybe they will. Maybe Totally Awesome's coming. Maybe some other stuff that works really nicely with milling stuff is coming. But these 2 being banned outright is crazy. It's our first ever bans, which is really big for Konami to actually kind of do. Again, they're both free-to-play friendly cards, so doesn't really matter there. But like, this doesn't see play. Like, I assume there's like some random meme decks on YouTube that go around with this, because otherwise it doesn't make sense to me why you would forbidden these, you know? That seems like way too harsh of a hit. Like, grass was, you know, when it came up, you're like, oh, for God's sake, but there's plenty of other stuff you can hit rather than, you know, you can hit individual deck stuff rather than this thing that does make some certain decks, you know, not decks that just benefit off of, you know, like Light Swans. But there are decks in the game that this card just makes work. That won't work now, or won't ever work. Okay, but this is a chonker, look at the bar, this is a chonker ban list. Limited 1. Hey, Star Blast is going already. Okay. So we're getting the Axe Denied, and Overflow Nerf, and Star Blast in one go. Very good. This card was like, you know, what, from the moment that people worked down, just read it and like, oh, shit. This was going to be a problem, and they're just hitting it before it becomes way too much of a problem, basically. And it will be good with Xyz Summoning, because it just reduces the monsters you control or in your hand by 1. So you can modulate for an Xyz Summon. Which, of course, it was intended for synchros. So, okay. Then we have Needlepug Nest, as it gives the player an advantage similar to drawing 5 cards. Yeah, okay, yeah. But again, it's kind of similar to these 2. They've been in the game for so long, not really doing much. Like, this doesn't do... Revival Gift. Okay, right. This doesn't do much. You know, like, you don't see decks running this very often. So again, this is like Konami hitting the edge cases of where you might find in Platinum, there's a ton of stall decks or mill decks with this in. That's the only reason I can think of this, which you kind of have to be aware of, obviously. You know, they're not going to hit everything on the Duel Links meta tier list. It's going to be things they see in their own statistics. This just feels a little bit too late for me. But Revival Gift is one that I never thought I'd see. Select the tune in your graveyard, special it, negates effects. Then special 2 tokens to your opponent's side of the field. Yes, it does clog their field. But, and again, this again is like this is an Xyz thing, you know? This would give your opponent 2 monsters, but they can't use them as Xyz material because tokens can't be anywhere but on the field. They can't physically leave the field. So, I can kind of see why you'd hit it. But at the same time, this card doesn't see play at all. So I really don't know what this is about. This is one of the weirdest ban lists we've had, definitely. But okay, that's it. Limit 1, Limit 1's done. Limit 2, Gold Sark, and Charge of the Light Brigade. So Witchcraft is now hit quite a bit. You know, they have they already have Holiday, I think, to 3. So now they also have Charge to 2, as well as whatever else they have in that deck that can't be ran at 2 of. Gold Sark going to 2 again is going to also kind of hit Shiranui's in a way, but not really. They just kind of make it so you can't use all these generic cards that are going to banish stuff and get things out of your deck into your hand. That's fine. It's an okay hit. I didn't think it was all that bad, but sure. Witchcrafters might have, you know, had a long time in the meta, 4 or 5 months. Okay. Then we have Karakuri Komachi Nanishi. For generic level 2 cards, limit 2 cards, sorry. This is one of the things with the ban list. I don't like decks being nerfed outright for their main cards because of stuff that isn't part of their archetype. I think that's stupid. It makes sense why. They are a tier 1 deck right now, but this card is so important to the deck. Like, sure you might even need 2 because I think it's searchable very easily, so it doesn't really matter too much. But the fact you now can't run limit 2 stuff with the deck is pretty big. And I think they run Econ, which is the main kind of the main thing here. Then we have Keeper of Dragon Magic. Oh, Konami. If Neos Fusion doesn't get taken off the limit 3, which hasn't been limit 1, so like, you know, if it doesn't get taken off entirely, this is going to kill that deck. You know, the Invoked Neos deck just gets hit quite a bit, because this is a very good starter card for getting Neos Fusion into your hand. And again, it's one of those things that just nerfs future Fusion decks in the future, you know? Because you now can't run one of the best searches for Poly in the game. I don't know how I feel about that one. I understand it. But okay. Okay. Then we have Blackbird Close. I very much... and Holiday. Okay. So Witchcraft is this card now going from 3 to 2, which means they are now even more kind of hit than they were before by Holiday going to 3. Or whatever it was, to 1, or whatever the limit was on that. But Close going to 2 is interesting. Because this is a very annoying card in Black Wings. It's one of the most annoying cards the deck has. You can never count out a Blackbird Close in the hand or on the field. I don't think they run 3 anyway, so 2 might not be the biggest hit, but again, it depends on what's in that deck that they use in Limit 2s. Which we'll look at the end, we'll see what is happening there. But, good hit. You know, a good hit because the card is genuinely very good. And it's been in the game for a long time now, so, but still, no Aleister hit. We're hitting everything aside from Aleister, Neos, Keeper Dragon Magic, but we're not hitting the main boy himself. And I assume now we're at limit 3s, which there's gonna... Is that it? That is it. This was literally the day after the 1-year anniversary of Aleister. He's now been hit, which means, at least right now, you can't use him with Cosmic. Or with, and the bigger thing, is Palace of the Elemental Lords. Because that now changes the entire way you have to build that Element Saber Invoke deck. My voice is going, I've just taken a sip of water and it's just going. It's like, what are you doing right now? But, this was way too overdue. Over a long period, yeah, Konami? A long period of a year. And it's still, the second we get another deck that uses multiple attributes, he's back. He's back with his army of fusions. Like, oh, okay. Wow. It took a long time, but something's being done. You know, if they need to, they'll make him limit 2. They won't, he's an ultra rare, they just won't do that. He's gonna stay at limit 3 for a while now. But okay, I can understand it. At the same time, I don't really feel in the long run it's going to do anything. So it's just them putting it there because, you know, it's been a year and they have to do something about it, because otherwise there's going to be a bit of community outrage, I think, So, yeah, okay, fine. And no longer on the list. Dragon Dark, Mallow. This one makes sense now that Aleister is being here, Dragon Magic being here. This one coming back is really good for your Xyz summoning decks. Now Thunder Dragons can come back and have an alternative condition outside of Charge of the Light Brigade. But again, you can now play Charge with this again. You can now, just play 2 of them, And I think 2 Charge works, 2 Charge, 3 Dark works better than whatever it was before. Which I think it was 3. It might have been 2, it might have been 3. But I do want to see real quick what the ban list is for current 2s. And this game, please, just let me load in. I'm on the from scratch count. The events haven't loaded yet, thankfully. There isn't one anyway, that's why. Okay. Let's see what the current list is looking like. So yeah, Invoked now can't run with Cosmic or with Palace. Dragon Dark is now back at to unlimited, so you can now run that outside of whatever. Holiday down to 2 along with you and you. That's a huge hit for Witchcrafters. That is huge. Okay, and then look, like Keeper Dragon Magic with Neos Fusion and Crimson Fox. You've killed that deck. Like, you have to choose now. You're just running 2 Neos Fusion. You're not running Keeper in that deck. You're running 2 Neos Fusion. That is, at the start, the skills, really good. They looked like they were going to change things up greatly. They will, they will, 100%. Shadow Game nerf is great. And then the ban list started, the cards, and it's like, what the fuck? And they got to a different level of what the fuck. And a big thank you to, I don't know who that is who subscribed, David Lawrence for subscribing. Thank you for that during the video. And then they just kind of got even more like, what the fuck? And then, yeah, it just kind of went from one what the fuck to another what the fuck, and it kind of makes more sense now. Good list, like, stuff that needed hitting. That's the thing. It was a great list for skills. But for the actual cards, I think they went a bit too far to kind of... I don't want to say like meta reset, because it's not, because, look at this. You're just running Aleister, not in Element Sabers anymore. You can still run it in Neos without Keeper. So like... Oh. Konami, that was not bad. It was our biggest ban list in a long time. I'll give it that. But, like, it's interesting, to see, okay, so Blackwings also can't run. Oh, that's even bigger, actually. Close with Raikiri and with Orochi on the list is crazy. So now, yeah, like, you run Raikiri because he's the best, he's your main synchro. And you run Raikiri, Orochi, because he works with Simoon, which is your main, your main way of getting out and getting through your deck. So now you have to wonder, do I play close or not? And that's way bigger than I thought. Way bigger. Yeah. Let me know what you think down below of the brand new ban list. It's definitely an interesting one. I know I'm late. I woke up late, I was too late. I was up too late playing Genshin Impact. And I literally went to sleep like 20 minutes before the ban list dropped. So I could have stayed up and reacted to that then. But, oh well. Let me know what you think down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all in the next Duel Links video. See you then.